we are going to have many, many, many more computers than people. Trillions. I mean, we'll have trillions of computers and billions of people on Earth. And those computers will be accessible, easy to use, Game Boys. Like, you know, the image I'm imagining, sometimes when I try to imagine that, I'm telling myself, what if this board is becoming even smaller and smaller and smaller? And think of a bag of rice. You take that bag of rice, those rice things are actually computers. And if you want an intelligent house, what do? You pour more computing to your house. And it's more intelligent right now. If you want a very intelligent refrigerator, you pour more computing to your refrigerator. Those are intelligent, powerful computers who know how to interact one with another. They build the network, they connect, they provide you with computing power. Computing power will not be an issue. It will be a game, a child toy. Let's look at do-it-yourself synthetic biology. I would urge you to go and look for synthetic biology, iGEM, do-it-yourself bio. Today, if you are a kid in New York, you buy for $100 a kit that will allow you to play with, to program biology, to send it to your local printer and generate new things, new biological things. And this is amazing for me. This is amazing. One of the craziest competitions they had over here, they let kids play with it, and somebody has seen those fluorescent fish at sea, and they say, wow, fluorescent fish, this is very nice. What if I generate fluorescent trees or fluorescent cats? And they cut and copy genes from these fluorescent creatures at the ocean, and they generated a fluorescent cat, and they're now about to generate a fluorescent tree, and this is a new product to be sold, and it's developed by these kids. Of course, it also has some under-evaluated, implications. We'll discuss that later on. But we are getting the ability now at home, each one of us, to innovate, play with our own biology. Let's go forward. Do-it-yourself printing. Do-it-yourself printing, for me, it's an amazing revolution that will change the way we live our lives. It changes our reality. The simplest way to say it, we are going to print our reality. You need a cup, you need a shoe, you need a gun. A gun is the negative example. You just click download and print. I heard a joke about somebody's grandpa who was first introduced to the fax machine. And he said, wow, the fax machine, what an invention. Can it also work in Yiddish, a Hebrew German dialect? Can it also work in Chinese, the fax machine? Can this machine work in Yiddish? Can this machine work in Chinese? If you overcome, if you just imagine the fact that information is everything right now. You cannot send breakfast to Mars. When we are going to build colonies on Mars, pretty soon. I would suggest dozens of years. Will you send breakfast to Mars? No. You will send information to Mars. You'll print your breakfast on Mars. So it's all about information right now and printing your information. And the funny part here, this printer that you see over here, it's a new project, not yet on the market. It will be on the market in 2 months. It's called Form 1. It is being funded on Kickstarter right now. And the reason I put it here is because I was able to fund this printer, next generation, desktop, low cost, amazing printer, 3D printing with Kickstarter, which is another slide in my presentation about do-it-yourself funding. So you'll see that it all connects. By the way, this printer over here, the RepRap printer, almost prints itself. You buy the basic components and the printer starts to generate itself and grow itself and become the real printer later on. It will change everything we know about transportation, reality, commerce, the physical goods, grid, off the grid, after everybody will hold a printer at their house. Energy. You can generate your own energy these days. I woke up one morning and I realized that I became shameful because I realized that my house, the house I live in, generates 22 tons of CO2 every year. Now this is a lot and I'm not proud of it. An average Israeli will do 1/7 of that, okay? But my house generates 22 tons of CO2 to the air every year. So I said, what should I do? I want to fix that. And then one of the ideas I came with, I said, I'm going to generate my own energy. And I found out a community of enthusiasts all around the world who generate their own energy. So now I'm developing a project to build a solar tree, a mobile tree that you can actually plant in your garden, near your house, if you go to whenever you go, and you generate your own energy. It has batteries, it collects energy during the day, so we can make our own energy. There was another reason why I wanted to make my own energy, because I wanted to make my own money, and I will connect that in the next slide. Do-it-yourself DNA. Have you tested your DNA already? Do you know your DNA? If you did it, just raise your hand. I mean, if you already tested your DNA. One, that's not enough, guys. Innovation is not just corporate innovation. Innovation is being innovative as an individual. And go and innovate, and go and explore your DNA. You know, when you go to a doctor today, we have two keywords for the last 50 years. Blood and urine. Right? I mean, also in the US, I think. You go to a doctor, he look at you and he say, blood and urine, and come again. You know what he should say? He should say three things to you. Blood, urine, and DNA. And DNA is even more important. The point is that it's too expensive for him to say DNA for your medical care or whatever. But you can go today, pay $200 and check your own DNA and start exploring your own DNA. Go ahead and do it. I did it. I found a lot of interesting things about myself. Am I a carrier? What are my risks? What should I be concerned about? Am I a Jew? Yes or no? I mean, that was fascinating for me, really. And for me, that's innovation at the individual level. Play with your DNA, explore your DNA. Do-it-yourself education. It's not a secret. I mean, how many of you have used Coursera already? Okay, more than DNA, but still just a few. How many of you have listened to a presentation on the Khan Academy? How many of you will not raise their hand no matter what I ask them? Yeah, okay, I realized I have a problem here. I'm not suggesting that schools are over. No, we need schools, we need universities. But we live in an era in which if you really seek knowledge, if you really want to know something, do it yourself. Go and find the knowledge. Do-it-yourself education. This is fascinating. Well, I learned how to build my own solar tree with do-it-yourself education. I'm playing with do-it-yourself money with do-it-yourself education. I'll show you that later on. Do-it-yourself revolution. We have seen that last year. I mean, we have now the power to start our own revolutions. Yes, we still need talent. Yes, we still need other things. But isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful when you look at the whole picture and you see how much power is now put with technology at the hands of the individuals? I mean, my fears of the big brother are almost evaporated right now. Because I see the power, I see the big brother, but you know what? It's democratized. It's given to the people, not to the government so much, which is great. Do-it-yourself nanosatellite. For $2,000, you can buy a kit. You see the kit, CubeSat kit, and you can have your own satellite and send it to the space. And you can become a space explorer. Isn't it amazing that the last space project was done by a soda company? I mean, not by an empire. To land on the moon, you needed an empire. Only two empires have landed on the moon, the US and the Soviet Empire, okay? We are now a group of Israelis planning to land on the moon, and we are not an empire. We are a group of hobbyists, and we are building a spaceship to land on the moon. And if all goes right, by the year 2015, this is, the picture, the photo that you see over here is President Peres sending a letter to the moon. He's signing it on the back of one of the engineers, and we plan to do it. And it's wonderful. For me, it's empowering and it's innovation. And this is, by the way, how our spaceship is going to look. And we are building a spaceship. You can do it as well.